We're learning Zili Nishmas Etta Ahuva by Sakim Mesechus Avos Perek Beis Mishna Vav. So before we do Mishna Vav and Mishna Dalet, there's a Yachon Ubaya is very interesting that says in the Mile of Chazara, he says that every Mechaber Sefer should make sure to make a Madura on the Chibras. This way you can catch any mistakes. And he says Milanu Gadol Merabiseinu Zechreinu Levacha. Even Rav Ashi himself, when he wrote the Shas, there were different Maduras, and then he says. Uchemedumali shemesachas nedarim nazir erich increases temura meila tamid znechtafa hashav leinas aleim madura. That Rav Ashi didn't have a chance to make a madura. L'chein beemes lashem mesachtas halalo einin kesignan shar hashas. The Mishnah Vav Afu roa gilgolis achash shetzafa pnei hamayim. Hillel saw a skull that was floating on the water. Amale, he told the skull b'lashon aramis. Al da'atfecha atfucha v'soif matifecha yitufun. Because you sunk other people, that's why you got sunk. And at the end, the people that caused you to drown, they will also drown. So the Taisis Yantav asks, how did Hillel know that this person killed someone else? There are many people and many ratzchonim that die al mitasam, and that they don't necessarily get murdered by someone else. And also the first question he asks is that very hevel harig Kayin, and Kayin didn't kill anyone. So the Maisi has a whole big arichas. He quotes Rashi in Sukkah. There's a Gemara in Sukkah and Daf Nun Gimel and Aleph brings down this Mishnah. And Rashi over there says that the way Hillel knew it was v'hikar boy shehu reitzeach. That's a lashon, that he recognized in him that he was a reitzeach. So there's a big discussion over here with the Indian of Gilgal, whether this person actually did it or he was as Gilgal for someone else that had done it. And the Likutim over here on the side says something interesting. He says that Hillel saw it beruach hakodesh, shahi megulgal api hamayim, and he says in parentheses over there al tetama, that how could he have known it? Because shagam rabbeinu ha'ari Hisig lezeh beruach kadshe sheroya v'yedea migulgolim. He was able to see gulgolim. That's a whole discussion, but it's b'derech hasoid, and that's part of what the Taisis Yanta discusses. Could this Mishnah be talking about soid? It's brought in Hilchas Midas between all the other things. Why would it be saying soidus over here? So we'll just leave it at this. But it's not a pashat Mishnah to understand. Mishnah Zayin, who are you, Omer? Hillel also said, Marbe Basar, Marbe Rima. We'll learn this Mishnah with the Pirush of Rabbeinu Yonah, that people think that if they're Marbe Basar, Salidei Tainig, and Eden, taking care of themselves, Chaim Yosef, they'll live a longer life. Ki Yanig Atzme Al Pi Teva. And the Maisi says, it's not true, Ein Shiltim B'Yom Hamavis, and even someone who's marbe basar, it could be marbe rima. He'll have rima, which means toilam, worms, like the Rav says, bekever. Marbe nechasim, marbe daiga. If someone is marbe property, also the same thing. He thinks that if he's going to have a lot of property, he's not going to have any worries. And fakert, he's going to be daig. A whole year, he's going to be daig on all his properties. Marbe noshim, marbe kshafim, marbe shifchis, marbe ziba, marbe avodim, marbe gezel. So on this, the Rabbeinu Yonah says that a person who's rich and he owns shifchis and avodim, he's going to be achroi for the fact that the shifchis are mezana and that the avodim steal. And a person who has more than one wife, many wives, he's goyrim kshafim also, because the noshim are going to wind up doing kshafim in order to find favor in his eyes. The Mishnah continues now. The Rabbeinu Yonah says these are the hepech of what we said before. Marbe Torah, marbe chayim. So you think marbe basar is going to be marbe chayim, and really it's the opposite. We said marbe basar is going to be marbe rima. What is marbe chayim? Ayidei learning Torah, like the Goyin brings down over here. The pasuk in Mishnah, ki orich yamim ushnois chayim v'shalom yesifalach. The Mishnah continues. Marbe eitza. Marbe Tvuna. If a person is Shemea Etta Mipi Acherim, then he'll understand more. I'm sorry, I skipped one. Marbe Yeshiva, Marbe Chachma. If he's Marbe, the Kutzay Rabbeinu Yonah over here is good, it's the opposite. Marbe chachma, marbe yeshiva. If a person has chachma, so then the talmidim are going to come to hear dvarim chadashim, and then he'll have a bigger yeshiva if he has the chachma. And he says this is connected what we said before, that if you own shivchus, then you're achroi for any znus that comes out of here, and here's fakert. By you having Torah, now you're going to get the credit of any Torah, you're going to be marbe yeshiva, you're going to get the credit of any Torah. Marbe eitza, marbe tuna, we said, marbe tzedakah, marbe shalom. If a person gives tzedakah, so then people are going to have hana from his money, they're going to like him, so it's going to cause more shalom. And also, the Rabbeinu Yonah says other people are going to learn from him, and they're going to give tzedakah also. And this is connected what we said before, marbe avodah, marbe gezel, because if his slaves are stealing, so people are going to hate him, there's going to be more sinna. But if he gives tzedakah, then people are going to like him, and that's going to cause more shalom. The Mishnah ends off, kana shem tev, kana la'atzmai, when a person has a good name, he's kaina that for himself, that's for his own benefit, doesn't go over for the future generations, as opposed to having the chasam, at the end the person dies, and that goes over to future generations. And kana le divrei Torah, kana le chayil maba, if a person has Torah, then he has chayil maba. The Goyim brings down, it says, ki hu chayecha va'oirech yamecha.